Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Thank you, everyone. Happy Monday. All right, guys. Doing a test run right now. Trying to make sure my gal is looking awesome for her test run. Hello, hello, hello. We're doing a quick little test run. Hello. Make sure my gal is up here. Wave to everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. So I'm going to do your intro while we're talking. Hi, how are you?
I got it backwards. Okay. Got it?
That's okay. You got it. See, look. Hello.
How are you, my dear?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I just did a little something. That's it. You know.
Me too. Just a little bit.
Just a little something, you know. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Got a lot going on here. We got some work being done to the house, so I got
to the actual house.
To the actual house.
Okay.
She kind of lives my life.
There you go. It mirrors. She mirrors your life. She mirrors your life. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the beautiful thing about what we do in our dog community and the ways we play. So how's your day going?
It's going good. It's going really good. Matter of fact, I wanted to make for sure, let me restart this, because I wanted to make for sure that I can.
We're kind of doing a test run at the same time, guys.
Yes.
As we get things prepared. And then we're going to jump right into our actual chat at 4. I'm even getting mine locked in. Yes. Okay. It's almost 4 my time.
That's right. Yes. It's only 1 here. Yep, there you are. Let's wait. We are good. I'm good over here. Good over here. This was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. This was probably the most stressful part to me because you're my first live, like,
there
with
we
anybody.
Go. There we go. Yes. I had some confetti. I knocked down all the confetti. Have it just come floating everywhere. There we go.
Yes.
Well, I thank you for allowing me to be your first. Oh, my earphones came off. There we go.
No worries.
All right. Just as long. There we go. I'm locking in on both, trying to be cool. But
yes.
All right. So we're locking in on both. There we go. My doll is not going to be seen, guys, but she is here, waving, supporting, and you may hear a fan, in the distance. And that's because the sister's going through perimenopause with postpartum. So don't judge.
I'm right here with you. I am right here with you.
Yes. So I got the fans are going. One right here and another one right next to it.
And that's the thing. They're working on our AC system, getting a new HVAC system. So, and yes, that perimenopause thing, I think it's under talked about. Girl, I was like, y'all want me to be here? How long with what?
Yeah.
I need y'all to get that together because the hot flashes are so. I got the fan going up there. So.
Isn't it? It's just like a heat that's indescribable. It comes from the inside. It feels like a furnace is burning on the inside of your body, and you can feel it behind your kneecaps and your scalp. It's crazy. It is crazy. So yes, I feel for you. You are in my prayers. You know, I'm going through it too. So
yes. Especially with baby girl, sending lots of love to the family.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful baby girl. So we definitely want to give you a shout out because number one, I appreciate what you do. I don't know, most of you guys don't know this, but this has been a dream. This is like manifestation, guys. I have to say that because I've been watching you for 2 years. And when I first seen it, I'm like, oh my God, I have a desire to be on her show, but I didn't know how. So it was just like, just keep being me, having fun.
Exactly.
And then eventually you reached out to me and I was ecstatic. I was like, wait, what? I was like, I know to her it's probably like, it's just me, because we're all like that. You know?
Exactly.
When everybody comes to me and they're like about this award show stuff, I'm just like, it's just awards. It's just me. Like, we're just having fun. But, you know, you never know who's paying attention to you and what it means to them. So to be on here is very much an honor. Like,
God. Well, I appreciate it. Sending love to you as well, sis. And where I'm at with it, because we're doing so good on our test run, we might as well just go right into our actual chat. And I want to go ahead and introduce you for those that know you and those who may not. All right, guys, today is a beautiful day. You're welcome to the Adult Play Therapy Show. And today's Monday. Woo! I have the pleasure and honor to speak to my special guest, Kamaya Royal Official Page. And she is incredible, guys. She truly has a love for story, dolls, diorama, interior decorating, and community. She recently co-hosted a community-wide event that brought so much joy and so much excitement and light to so many of our adult doll collectors. She also has a new hashtag that she created with the intention of bridging our pages and our love of dolls. So without further ado, I would like to celebrate our special guest to the Adult Play Therapy Show, Kamaya Royal Official Page. Woo! I just thank you for being here with me. I have some questions. I know that we discussed some things through our voice notes.
Yes.
But before we, get into all that meat and stuff, I want to know, are you a Barbie girl? Like, how long have you been into Barbies? Were you already playing as a kid? Or is this just something that came up maybe during the pandemic? Or where were you at with this?
So I have always been having love for dolls. Since I was very, very young. I played with dolls up until I was about 14.
Okay.
And then, you know how that goes. They kind of said, why are you still playing with dolls? Da, 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 da. So it was either play with dolls or play with boys. Let's just be honest. So, it's like, hey, what do you mean I'm too old to play with dolls? So I did put them to the side. I had to grow up very young. So it was like I had to put them to the side and take on the responsibilities of life. And then it wasn't necessarily during the pandemic. It was more or less actually when I changed my career as an interior designer. I did that for over 12 years. And now I'm moving into real estate, that I actually got into this. I didn't even know this was a community. Oh my God, I fell in love when I found the community. I was actually supposed to be more on a different platform and just started this as a keep up, but it just blew up. It blew up. And so this is where I remained. So would I necessarily call myself a doll collector? Probably not. I don't think I qualify. I mean, to some people that might be different, but.
Okay, what do you think makes a doll collector compared to just like enjoying your dolls?
Well, I mean, just from what I kind of know a little bit about it, I think what considers somebody to maybe be a doll collector would be more of someone who keeps up with the track of each doll that's coming out. And they have them from beginning to end, or as much as possible, or they know about certain ones, and they're looking for them, or they have those collected. That's not necessarily me. I mean, there are ones that I am on the hunt for from when I was young because, again, when I was younger, I did used to build dioramas, but back then I didn't know that they were called dioramas.
Exactly.
So I used to do like the banana boxes. You remember the Chiquita boxes?
Yes.
The ones that had the hole in the middle?
Yes.
So I used to take regular boxes, cut the doors and the windows in it, and then I would take the Chiquita box, and that was my second story. And I would take the little box and I would build the stairs and then I would cut out carpets from the house that I wasn't supposed to. I did it out of my mom's closet. My mom's like, "Are you lost your mind? Why do you need carpet?" So I've just always had more of a thing for design and art just in general. I've always loved dogs. I do have still one. His name is Kevin. I haven't, hopefully maybe by the time we're done, I can bring him in here. But I've literally had him since I was 14 years old, 15 years old. I bought him with my first work check that I ever made, and I still have him to this day.
There you go.
Kamaya, she was inspired by me building my dioramas and needed somebody to live in them.
Exactly.
So I don't care if I'm too old to play with dolls. I was like, I'm just going to start out with one.
And then it grows. And see, that's where I'm at with it. And I see some people are commenting and they're like, if you got more than 10, then you're a doll collector. And I really do believe
I got way more than 10.
The same, that if you got more than 10, you got more than 2, and you're a doll collector. And I understand your perspective. I totally do. I never have thought of that, quite honestly. I just kind of felt that if you enjoy your dolls and you literally have a collection of them and multiples, then you are a doll collector. Now, if you get into getting like the $400 doll, and if you want to get all of the BMR sets, like I just think that just goes into the nuance of who you are as a collector. Like that's the type of collector that you are. But Yeah, I think that you qualify as a doll collector.
Yeah,
But I enjoy your perspective. I totally value it. But yeah, I'm like, you're a doll collector.
love that because yeah, I mean, I like dolls and I love them. Like to me, so she is very therapeutic for me. More so than I thought she was going to be, you know, because
Yes.
each one of the characters, which you can see behind me, and for those of you guys that follow the story would understand, but it is a lot more therapy for me. So that's why I really enjoyed seeing your channel because I love the
Yes.
that it was called adult play therapy.
Exactly. And it's adult play therapy because so often, we play as kids. That's
Right.
like our natural thing. We learn through playing and we cope through difficult situations and traumatic situations. And everyone's trauma is different.
Yeah.
Someone's trauma could be because they have to go to a different school. Like they had to switch school maybe in their fourth grade year and attend a different school for fifth grade. They had to move. That can be traumatic. For another person, it could be divorce. For another person, it could be violation of their personal body. It could be all different kind of things that people consider as traumatic that they have to live through. From being a child to being an adult. But one of the things that we did different as a child is that we played. And that's what helped us cope through it. And that's why so many children are so resilient. And then they get into their 20s and 30s and they're starting to crumble. They're just like, why do I feel like this? Why do I have such a heavy weight? And it's mainly because we forget about the value of play. So that is really where it comes from. And then we kind of get mad at our friends or our mates or spouses because they're on the Xbox a whole lot.
Yes.
But they found a way to cope. They found a way to play. And that's one of the things that we have to be able to incorporate into our everyday. So one of my questions, I'm so glad that you went there, is how has being able to be a doll collector and building dioramas, how has that been therapeutic to you?
Well, very, very therapeutic. When I'm under a lot of stress and pressure, just from everyday life, this is my escape. And I think that this is that for a lot of us that are here right now. Each one of my dolls that I do have, I think they represent a personality of mine. Even from the mother, I mean, I think a lot of you guys that know the mom, she's more of, oh, away with them, oh, this and that. That's kind of her character. But I think it has a lot. Me and my therapist, we were actually just talking about this morning. I think she has a lot more. It's more of the rejection part of my life that I dealt with, the people of authority. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of represents that. And so that's why the mini-me, Kamaya, she's the one, she's kind of rebellious a little bit against her mother. She's very respectful, but doesn't feel that her approach is always so necessary. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that has a lot to do with life in general. And her father, who's the actual king, and I'm just kind of giving a little background of how these characters
You're fine. Let's talk about your characters. It's all part of therapy.
How the characters have come about. So the father, although he's the king, he's the one who runs this whole thing. And I look at, he's not God, but God is our kingdom. So that's where royalty comes from for me, because we're all sons and daughters of the Most High God, the King. And then we're just here trying to do our best. And just because, I feel like just because someone is considered royalty doesn't necessarily mean we have to hold this facade like mom here, where it's like, off with their heads.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And you can be more like dad, where he's more chilled back. He doesn't over abuse his authority. You know, he doesn't over... Go ahead.
But by chance, where did you get your name?
So
as far as like the name of your actual page.
So it's called Royal Heights. Royal Heights, and the Royal Heights come from like basically just me feeling like all of us hold some sort of royalty.
Yes.
Everybody. Yes. We all, because of the fact that we're sons and daughters of the Most High God.
Yes, we are.
We all hold royalty, and everybody's different. And even though we're all different, doesn't mean that we get to decide how that looks, how royalty looks for somebody else, because that's why this is called Royal Heights. And everybody here is royalty. They're all rich in their own ways financially. Financial here is not a problem. However, the personalities are very different, and they all represent a piece of me. Some are from trauma, because I was a victim of rape as a young child, and then we also have like just trauma from, I have divorced parents, so, growing up in a single mother home and things like that. But none of it ever broke me. It was always to just keep going. And so building this community here with them and playing out each one of their lives through some of the experiences that I've
Yeah.
experienced, it definitely is very therapeutic for me because I'm still on a journey right now as we speak. And I think we all are. But excuse me, I'm doing the actual footwork, the shadow work,
Yes.
is what you
Yes.
call it, to dig more deeper inside to see what is going on. And to me, I feel like it comes out better through play. You know what
I
I mean? Because
agree. I
you can
agree.
sit with yourself and
Mm-hmm.
you can actually understand, okay, when I developed this character or when this character just did this,
Mm-hmm.
what triggered that? Why did they do that? And how would
Well,
we respond versus how we did respond? Do you see?
exactly. Well, I want to stop you real quick because one, what you expressed and what you just shared was very transparent. I appreciate you for doing that. And I'm so sorry that you went through that. I can definitely relate, but I thank you for sharing that and feeling comfortable enough to share that. This is a safe space for that to be shared.
Oh, yeah.
So I
So many
appreciate
women
you
have
for
been
sharing
through it.
that.
And
And yes, this is a place, through play that we're able to work that out because so many of us are still on the journey of healing. And one of the things with healing is that it is continuous. It doesn't just, you don't go, oh, okay, I'm done. I did all the shadow work. I did all the journaling. I did the Gestalt therapy. I did the CBT and I'm done. It is a lifelong process. And so being
yes.
able to incorporate play into that allows it to be more lighthearted. And because we photograph and we post, we're able to reach out to other people who have endured that same thing. And then being able to create an even tighter knit community, you have now incorporated group therapy
Yes.
through something that just started
Right.
off as you just playing in your room, just
Yes.
enjoying your process. And now you have group therapy where people are now in the comments or DMing and saying, I went through this. And being able to see your doll character walk through this has helped me. That's one of my points. And then another point that you made, as far as each one of your dolls representing a part of you. It was some time ago. You said you've been listening for about 2 years. So
Yes.
maybe within that 2 year span, we talked about writing and storyline development. And we talked about whenever you build your characters and your
Yes.
dolls,
I did. I
being
caught that
able,
show. Yes.
yes, that each one of them are a personification of you. It's a portion of
Yes.
you. Even if it's someone who you created, a doll character you created that you cannot even relate to, it's still a part of who you could be. Or that person
Exactly.
that's there on the inside, but you just don't let them out because you know that they're immoral, you know that they're unethical, and it's just not who you vibe with, but yet they're still there. And so you're
Yes.
able to create that, or someone that you met. But generally, just like in our dreams, how they said that no matter who you dream of or what you dream of, it's still a part of you. So
Exactly.
I
Yes.
love that you shared that because it's so very true. A lot of times we can create characters in our doll world and we go, I don't know what made me do that. But it's because that's that person that's inside of you, that little tiny voice that's
Exactly.
like, hey, I want to come out. I need to be able to speak. And so
And
you give that
sometimes I
character a
feel like
voice.
I
Mm-hmm.
also feel like, when things happen and you wish that you would have responded in a different way and you didn't, playing it out could also be very therapeutic on how you could have handled something. So sometimes you can do things a certain way you wish you didn't, whether good or bad
Yes.
or indifferent. And
Yes.
when you actually play it out, it's like, okay, or even just imagining, I know we're all probably guilty of this, is that sometimes we find ourselves, especially in boredom, find ourselves drifting off because we're storytellers. So we find
Yes.
ourselves drifting off, sometimes thinking about things we have no business thinking about that has not transpired, creating anxiety, things of this nature. And then next thing you know, we're like, well, okay, if that did happen, would I do this? Did I do that?
Exactly.
Or even going into the aspect of people hearing, just even in relationships and friendships. That's why these two are like best friends. You assume that you would respond in a certain way
Mm-hmm.
because you're hearing your friend and you're hearing whoever say whatever is going to happen, and you say, oh, if that was me, I would do this. But you really can't say that you would do that because you haven't been through it. It's different with emotions and depending on who you're dealing with and those type of things. So I just think that overall, this has been very therapeutic for me. And
Yes.
people did, I see people in the comments saying they didn't know that this could be therapeutic. Absolutely. This can be something that you can, do for yourself to help with scenarios, help with healing, self-healing. It really can be
Exactly.
very healing for you, and it is for me,
It
I was
is.
very surprised when people, like my family and friends, when I started getting the dolls and collecting, I was a little nervous because I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell no friends. I didn't tell nothing. I just joined the community, thought I'd have maybe 1 or 2 friends or followers or something. No, it blew up. And this was all organically. This was not using any hashtags. This was not using any friends or family because I didn't even want them to know that I was open here.
Yeah.
But then people started finding me. And then I was like, oh, Lord. And then they accepted it so well.
Yeah.
So well. And it helped me to be more free with it because I was like, you know what? It's never that I was ashamed or anything like that. It's just I didn't want to hear from somebody else telling me, oh, aren't you too old to be playing with dolls? Shouldn't there be other things that you're doing? And I think sometimes I feel that guilt, and let me know if you guys have ever felt this as well. But sometimes when we have the responsibilities that need to be done and we're overwhelmed, overstimulated, I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't clean the house right now. I don't want to deal with a business meeting. I don't want to this. I need to go in my doll room and decompress for a minute.
I tell you what, that is so very true. Being able to decompress in your doll room is like literally a sanctuary. When I'm having a very busy day, as many of you know, I have 11 children, my husband and I do, and there are 11 active children. And so very often I can get very overwhelmed. I just tell you, see the fan here, okay? Perimenopause has been going on, postpartum has been going on, and just life in general. So being able to go into that doll room, seeing my dolls, grabbing them, just being able to just manipulate their hair, changing their clothes makes a difference. Sometimes just being able to look at them and being able to look at, okay, I did do this diorama and I do feel creative. It helps so much because you get so busy and overwhelmed, like you said, overwhelmed. I love that, with responsibilities. Yes, that you need to be able to just have something that meets you and greets you and does not stress you. And I feel like that's what our dolls do.
A little bit, yeah.
Exactly. Now, when we talk about, I heard you say a couple times about being too old to play. No, you are never too old to play.
No, I'm not now.
I think that society has told us that, when you reach a certain age, you have to play golf. You know,
right, or something else.
And yes. Or you have to go out to the club, and that's what makes you an adult. But these are not the things that bring me pleasure.
Right. Because I've never been clever, so I'm right along with you. I would have preferred to be at home with dolls.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, if I would have known then what I know now. Well, I always kept a box of Barbies. I always did. And when my husband and I met, I was like, when we would go to any store, I'd be like, let's go to the doll aisle. Never bought a doll because by that time I was like, okay, I'm not supposed to play, right? But I still wanted to go and see what's the latest toys that they have. I have to check this out. But I didn't know within myself that I could play. And my husband was okay with it. We weren't married. That did not give ourselves permission. Whereas now we give ourselves permission. You don't have to get permission from anyone.
No, you don't.
You don't have to get permission about what brings you joy.
I feel like society pushes us to responsibilities. It's like you have to be responsible, and that's what I was basically saying. It's like it's okay sometimes to step away from those responsibilities for a second to regroup, because if you're not the best for yourself, you can't be your best for your family, your friends, anyone else around you. So you have to find that outlet, and for me, this is definitely my outlet. And to somebody else, like for example, my husband, his outlet is working on cars and doing and now I do think that we have to keep healthy boundaries, as far as, coming away and going into your room and taking the time to decompress, but also then coming back to the responsibilities that need to come through. But I think as we were growing up, society told us that, or we listened and took the permission away, like, oh, we can't do this because we have to go to work. We have to provide for the family. We have to put a roof over our head. We have to do these things, which we're doing them, but it's like, even like self-care, doing your nails, doing your hair, spending time with yourself, whether it's with your dog or going to the movies or whatever it is that you like to do for you. I think that society has tried to rob us of that, if that makes sense. But like you said, the permission, we have to give ourselves permission to live and whatever that is for you, and
you have to. You have to step outside the matrix,
Yes. And so my doll's building, so as you guys know, I'm building the doll tower. I don't know if you had a question for me before we get to that.
Did I have a question?
Yeah.
Thus far, I want for us to to kind of like get into you and these wonderful, before we get to the doll tower, I want to talk about this awesome event that you had. Like,
I know
what
I'm coming.
sparked it? What sparked it? And I was, at first, and I think so many other people who got their trophies, I thought that you were like, and I wrote co-host. I wrote co-host because I thought that you had like the whole event, but then I'm understanding who's the other person who co-hosts. One sad face, because I know that I got a comment and I was like, okay, I didn't know that you also co-host this. Okay. So how does this all go?
Co-host. So there was no co-host. It is all my events, but she was the sponsor. She is the sponsor of the trophies, the mini trophies.
Okay.
So before we even get all into that, if you don't mind, I'd like to do a quick shout out to I still call them the team. They were the team because to me, they helped bring this together. And this was not planned. This was all kind of, like it just was on a whim, and it just worked together.
So before we do the shout outs, let's get to like the origin. Then you can incorporate the team, because I want to know like how this all started. Even when I saw my name on the list, I was like, "What is this? What's going on?" Which was cool, but I just want to know like the origin. And let's shout out to the team and all that beautiful work. Okay.
So actually, it's a really funny story. How I stumbled upon this on accident. It was an accident. And how the accident happened was because you remember baby Jalia was born from Jazz and Jason.
Yes.
Okay. They were born. I did a Houdini on accident because of life be lifing. I did a Houdini. She had the baby back in November. I was gone pretty much from November to January. And I was like thinking, I kept saying to my husband, oh my God, I have to post something. But things were under construction because we've been working on the house pretty much since like December, and just doing some updates and things like that. So I was like, I have to make a post. I haven't done a post. So with this whole AI situation going on, I was like, really quick, I think what I'll do is I know that the conventions are coming up. I was like, the conventions are coming up for the Barbie stuff. And I was like, let me just post that I went into a awards convention, even though I'm not going to have the blessing of going to one. Let me go ahead and post that I did. I hope so one day. I was like, let me just post that, I'm at this event thing, So I went ahead and did a little AI post, right? And then I started thinking, I couldn't even lie. Can I be transparent? Can I be real?
Yes, please.
Okay. I finally said to myself, I said, you know what? This really sucks that not everybody has the same opportunity to get to go, because I have a good friend who also stood out there. I've been on the waiting list. I know many of you have been on the waiting list, and we can't all get in there, It's very hard to do. And so I was like, our dolls are working and they're doing all this stuff online, and why we can't have an award ceremony, and this and that. And it just struck me. It was like, well, why don't we do something about it? So when I posted that, and I was like, I don't know what made me say it, but I was thinking before, I was posting before I was thinking, put it that way. But God worked everything out. So I posted, and I'm like, if you guys want to be a part of this award thing, then this and that. And so many people just caught track to it. And I was like, okay, so everything was just kind of, I really have to say it was really God, because I had no idea what I was doing. Absolutely. I had no idea. I just went based off of when one thing happened, you did the next thing. And it's kind of like when you're put in a situation, when you're put in any type of situation, you look at all the outcomes, everything.
Yes, all the variables.
And then you go and you work it out along that line. So when I first started this thing, and then I started talking to one sad face, I was letting her know. I was like, girl, I think I want to do this, that. And she did. She told me, I go, maybe we should do like 50 awards. And she's like, I'll do the little miniature awards. And she got her 3D printer and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, that'd be cool. I was like, so now we can amp it up. So I was just like, okay, if you participate and we host all of these things. It was much bigger than I thought I was going to do, because I said, I'm going to do it. And I figured I could put, I didn't know how many polls you can do on one post. So I could do a lot more under one, but no, it was only 3 or 4. So I was like, oh, wow. So that makes more posts. So, okay, we're going to do it. It was 56 of them. I was like, forget it. We're going to do it. I ain't got nothing but time. So I go ahead and I do that. And so then she's like, girl, you don't realize what you're getting yourself into. I'm like, no, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. So I keep doing it, keep going. And more and more people. So when I posted, I just said, tag your favorite content creators. It doesn't matter if they're small, a channel, if they're a big channel. That's not what this is about. This is just tag who you think is your favorite. Your vote matters, so just post them. So people started tagging all these different people. And I'm like, nobody has to be following me. It doesn't matter if they're following me or not. That's not the point. Just tag so other people can see them. So everybody else can see why you like them, just you're one. Why does somebody else like them, So then as we're doing that, this thing blew up. Like, it was just so many different creators and stuff. So I'm trying to write names down. I'm doing this all by hand. I'm writing names down and all this kind of stuff. And I remember one point standing at the kitchen sink thinking, what did I just get myself into?
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of a little bit became overwhelming, just a little bit. So that's why I said that there's a team of people that were behind me, because I was able to call a few people and be like, girl, this is a little bit overwhelming, because I figured, I think on my post I have like about 50 or 60 faithful people who are on there. So I thought it was really only going to be just about them. But when it opened up, because I'm a public page, when it opened up to so many more creators and who they liked, that they didn't know me, I wasn't following them, I was just like, you know what? This is a big opportunity for those accounts to be seen for their hard work. So I said, if we're going to do this, I talked to my husband about it, and I said, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And he was all for it. He was all for it. So I was like, okay, we got now miniature awards that are going to be created. I want to take the time to personalize them. And that's why I put in there, and even God, because I am a little bit of a perfectionist. And God was like letting me know, kept reminding me, it's not about perfection, because I did want to have the proper categories. I did. That was the intent. But God was like, no, that's not what this is about. This is about everyone being important, everyone being seen for their creativity, because even this would make it where smaller accounts, if they're going against bigger accounts, they would think they don't have an opportunity to win. But you do, because just because somebody with a bigger account gets listed doesn't mean they're going to be voted for if their people aren't coming over here voting for them. So it's like, take your audience and have them see who supports you really, and then have them go over and just mark down for you,
I thought it was very unique. Very, very unique.
It didn't matter what category you were in. We had people who were doll collectors against doll fashion, and we had some who were talk show hosts compared to somebody. So it was like, it's not about the category. I want everybody to understand that it was not about the category that you were in. It was about you being important and being seen, that you did something so special at some point in somebody's life that you didn't even realize you did, that they thought about you to nominate you.
And let me pause you right there, because we spoke briefly about this through our DMs, that you never know who's looking at you. You never know who's looking at you, who's being inspired by you. And like, sometimes we can create something. Like, I know for one, I am not as crafty as, let's say, my froggy stuff. Okay. I'm trying. When I was younger, I had a real good craft bone, but I'm not that crafty like I used to be. But I still enjoy it. I still enjoy building my dioramas. I still enjoy this. I have a vision. Let's put it together. And I'm telling you, you never know who sees that and they go, if she could do that, I can do it. Hers looks like. Hers looks nice, but if she can do that, I can do that. And that's what we do in our doll communities, that we build each other up by being able to do what we do, inspires each other. So yes.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because one thing that I've always thought about, especially when it came to this awards, is that it doesn't matter. Some of us can get so hard on ourselves if we have to take scissors, and this is just the example, we have to take scissors, it should be a straight line, versus if we're just ripping the paper and it's not necessarily perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it makes you happy, that's what matters. It doesn't matter if I've seen one creative person who took 2 pieces of a car, cut it in half, glued them together, and made it work for their 7 kids or however many they had. And I thought that was so creative. And some people probably had their, criticism of, oh, that doesn't look right, this and that. You're going to have haters. If you're not having haters, you're not doing nothing good. You got to keep going.
Exactly. The slogan of this whole podcast and what I do is anyone can play right. Anyone. Yes. Anyone can play, anyone can write. Literally, right. Anyone can do it. You just have to enjoy yourself. That's the main thing.
Yes. So I'm hoping that this right here encourages somebody out there, that if you're not sure, like if you're like, oh, I don't want to post this because it doesn't look right, or it's not as perfect as my froggy stuff or this and that doesn't matter. Go ahead and post.
Exactly.
And don't, somebody's going to love it. They're going to encourage you. You're doing this for you. And don't worry about, you're going to have people who like what you do, because there's other people that are in the same boat as you that feel like they don't cut right and they don't this and that. Those are going to
Mm-hmm.
be your supporters, and you're going to encourage them to do the same thing. So
That's so
yes,
true.
when it
That is
comes
so,
back
so
to
true.
the awards ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy with the outcome. I mean, we had very minor people who tried
So
to
who
take it a
helped
little
you
bit
with
more
the
to
event?
heart. Yeah,
Who
to
helped
try
you
to.
with the event?
So it was just me and my husband
Oh, okay.
that did
Oh,
the
no.
whole
Oh,
event.
okay. Because you said you wanted to do a
So,
shout out.
oh yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
you talking about like the people that were okay. So the
Mm-hmm.
ones
Your
who did
team.
the shout out that I want to do, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anybody. Of course, number one sad face, which is Sade, because she's the one that out of her own money, her own pocket, she created the miniature awards. I just
Mm-hmm.
customized them and I sent them out to everybody. So thank you so much to my girl Sade for that. I appreciate you. Then we have Daria and Cassie, which is Doll Life Unfiltered, and then I hope I'm saying it right, Cassie. I think it's Diane Dreams Doll. Them two, they really helped me mentally, because
Mm-hmm.
I needed someone to talk to while it was going on. So you guys can see the back behind the scenes. Everything looked good during the show, but yeah, they helped me mentally. And then Magnum Life, she did the intro video. That was on the whim. That happened that
Oh,
day. She did the
yes.
AI video, and I
Yes.
thought it was phenomenal. I was like, girl, can I use
Mm-hmm.
this? She was like,
Yes.
absolutely. And that's why to me it was the community that came together.
I agree. I
Everybody came
agree.
in, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought that that's what made it just perfect, that everybody was unique in their own ways. And then we cannot forget the very funny Straight Talk Son and Bad
Mm-hmm.
Boy Jayani. Those two right there were just so funny to me. They actually kind of amped it up when
Mm-hmm.
they were doing their they kind of started, because they were in best male doll, and they started going back and forth right away, and I just seen an opportunity right there. I was like, hey, you know what, you guys could really amp this up during the ceremony, because you guys are kind of like going out here. It's like, oh, the game just got real, and go vote for me and this and that. And I was like, this is what we need. We
They
need
also
that
have a
they're not
YouTube
taking
page,
it so
right?
personal. I'm
Don't they
sorry.
have they have a YouTube page or a podcast
They
that they
do.
do?
They have a YouTube
Yes.
called
Yes.
Chop It Up, I think it is.
Okay.
Please forgive me if I'm wrong, but check them out. They're down there in the comments down below. So check them out. They're very, very funny. I thought that really would help it out. And so being that they were able to come in and give us some laughter
Mm-hmm.
throughout. So I'm hoping that the next one, because we do plan to do this every year,
You plan
and
you doing
now,
every
yes,
year.
it's not going to be just me, because behind the scenes, it was just all me.
And I
This was
think
all
that's the
mine.
whole thing. Like even with what I'm doing right here, behind the scenes, I have my family. You know,
Right.
my sons are putting up the lights. My husband's directing things. My girls are keeping me in order as far as making sure that I'm here on time and getting my hair and my makeup together. So
Yes.
it takes a team, as they say.
It
It
takes
takes
a
a
team.
village to be able to get it done. And I
Yes.
wanna ask you a question. I want to back up a little bit even from the event. Because
Yes.
you said in the very beginning of this chat, you were like, I really was not expecting to go into the doll community, right? You were on
Yes.
another platform. So what
Yes.
made you decide to use dolls as a medium?
Um, it was the dioramas. It was building, because I would create this beautiful space, but
And you were doing
what
that
was I going to
for
do
the
with it?
interior decorating. You were
Yes,
building
well,
a
because I
small
had
space for
stopped.
the interior decorating.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
switched out because I had, long story short, I had an amazing team. We did a good run for about 12, 13 years, and my team started branching out. They started going to college and, starting families and things like that. So I had to stop my interior design business because it just was scary to work with other people, especially being that I had such a good rating. I tried interviews. It was just not working for me. So I said, okay, I'm going to go into real estate, but I still like decorating. Real
Yes.
estate, I can still do it in real estate, but I'm going into more of like realtor. So I'm gonna be selling houses, and I can show them what they can do, with the
Yeah,
spaces as
stage
they're
it.
out, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, staging it and things like that. But I wanted to still build. So I just said, you know what, let me build on a smaller scale. So I started out with my first little diorama. Again, at this point, still didn't know they were called dioramas. I did not know. So I'm building it, and then I'm like, it's so beautiful, but I need somebody to live in it. I
Yes.
want to be able to come back and forth to it, change it up, and do different decor and everything. So when we were at Walmart, me and my husband, I'm seeing all these dolls, and I even seen, because she's the hiking Barbie. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, she's the hiking Barbie. I don't know if you can see her face. So she is the
Oh,
hiking Barbie.
okay.
I
Okay. I like how
customized her,
you
put her nose ring
customize
because
it.
I have
Yes.
mine. Yeah. So she's
Okay.
the hiking Barbie. And I see, all of I don't know if I'm the only one that does this, so please let me know if anybody else does this, but I seen the whole, stand or whatever. I looked at them. It didn't stand out to me. But
Yeah.
her, specifically her, I was walking down the aisles. I'm looking for this doll that's speaking to me that I can feel, and she was kind of thrown off to the side, like if somebody had picked her up and then put her down. And so I picked her up, and then I was like, oh, this is the other doll. And I promise you, when I first looked at her, I just felt this connection. And I said,
Yes.
and I just did it, and I did like this, and I said, this is her. This is me. She is my mini me. So went ahead, purchased her, got her together, brought her in here. She was my first doll that I bought. The second one was Mama, she's the holiday Barbie.
Yes.
So we had to have her have a mom, and then that's how everybody else got built. But it was the dioramas that actually brought me back into it. And then, of course, that's why I said it was only supposed to be one, but you can't have a community with just one. You
I
gotta.
know, right? I always say, when I talk to my best friend, I'm like, if I buy one, then I have to get another one. If I get an IT doll, then she's going to need a friend. When I get a vintage doll, she has to get a friend. If I get a Monster High, she has to get a friend. And then it just opens up a whole new area of my, my
Yes.
doll collection.
Besides one puppy, and now I've got tons of them because they have to have
That's how it
friends.
happened. They have to. They can't be the only one. They're like their size is different. We talk about Monster High and Bratz. Their head size is different. They don't want to be the only one. They need somebody else who looks like
Exactly.
them. So yes, I
Yeah.
totally get it. I totally get it. Now, what made you go into storyline? Because you're
So
very, very good with your
storylining.
storyline. I'm just curious, like, what made you go into storyline instead of just maybe posing them in your newly decorated diorama?
So I was on YouTube. I don't know if we've been able to say that on here, but I was on a different platform and I was doing my interior design at the time. And since I was stepping away from that, I still liked doing YouTube. And so originally, like I said, I was going to be posting over there. So I figured, what can I do with these dioramas and all that kind of stuff? I did see my Froggy stuff. Also, Saeed, my miniature things, he's amazing. So I
Yes.
see all them. So to me, my dioramas, I felt like they weren't, it was already a niche and too many big people. I felt like it would be too, I was competing against big dogs. Let's just say that. And I felt like for me, just because it's me, I felt like I'm not good enough to go into that niche. So I was like, I want to do doll stories, because I was watching Summer and Callie. That's how I got introduced to my Froggy
Yes.
stuff. And I
Yes.
loved that. And then I was also watching the other one with Emily and Friends. I was watching
Yes.
her, yeah,
Yes.
Delightful
Dolls, I
Dolls,
think.
Delightful
Yes.
Dolls, yes. So I
Mm-hmm.
was watching them already. So I was like, it's not a lot of them. So I was like, it gives me that gives me, some opportunity there to grow. So I had started up that page. That's why she has the Kabaya Royal and Family over there on Instagram, on YouTube. And then I said, you know what? But I kind of want to do things a little bit different. I want it to be where you can do backstaging on Instagram. So you can
Yes.
kind of keep up with her. So kind of like real life. You know how
Yeah.
you have your life over there, but then you can come over here and talk and stuff with people. So I was just going to use her. I wasn't originally going to show me. It was just like, I'm obsolete. Who cares about me? So I brought her
Well,
over.
we already said a portion of ourselves is in every story of our dolls, right? Every character of our dolls. So
Yes,
we're
into
still
that
present.
version.
We're still present,
Yes,
especially since you said that's your mini me. So you're still there.
yes, yes. So then I went ahead and I brought it over here, and then it literally blew up like so quickly. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it happened. And I think that's a lot of where our purposes are found and things like that, because we're really thinking we're searching for one thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like all of a sudden right where you need to be happens fairly quickly,
Yes, it does.
So it just kind of, I just kind of stayed here and then kind of put that one on the back burner because I was just having such a good time. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even know this was a community. Wait a minute. I'm like, look at this page, look at them, look at them, look at them. And
Mm-hmm.
I started having so much fun. And again, I started noticing that it was being very therapeutic for me. And then that's when I found you. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going into this. Like, gonna do this. And I'm very happy that I did because I've met some wonderful, wonderful people
Yes.
over here, and it's just a great community. I know that there's little things here and there between people and stuff like that, but if we keep the goal in mind, which is to be therapeutic for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, to
Mm-hmm.
play, and not take everything so personal and literal, it can be very beautiful for just about everyone. You know what I mean? I don't
I
think that we
fully
can.
agree. I
So,
fully agree. I think the thing is remembering that behind every amazing and awesome diorama, behind every fashion, behind every storyline, we're still human and we're still
Right.
people. And so the faulty of being human is that we do
Right.
form cliques and we do have our own preconceptions about things,
Yeah.
and that can come out. That can still come out. So as much
Right.
as we want to say,
Absolutely.
hey, let's not have that here, let's enjoy ourselves, let's be about community, it doesn't always happen. But
Yeah, no,
one of the things
it's
that I
not.
love
Yeah.
about our community is that it does get squashed pretty quick. It does
Yes,
not become a
I love
lingering
it.
issue. It gets
I love
squashed
that part.
as
Yes.
there's a problem that arises. It gets spoken about. It gets squashed, and then we keep on moving
Thankfully, I
forward.
haven't been into anything, and I hope to never be. I mean, yes, I know you guys seen during the whole show me having to make a quick disclaimer, and that's just because, again, some people were taking it a little too seriously, and I get it. Who are we to say that I have one follower who this meant so much to her. She's way out in Brazil, so we don't know their situations and why certain things mean so much to them. And some things could be a trigger. Again, we're thinking about this
Mm-hmm.
as therapy. So sometimes things can be a trigger. But one thing that if I can say to anybody out here that's listening is although we have triggers, that's where we then need to do the inner work, because we're not the ones that's attacking. You know what I mean? That requires inner work, because most of us are just here trying to get work something out for oneself versus to attack someone else. I don't really think that I haven't run across anybody who I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they're trying to attack somebody intentionally or on purpose. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
I do try to take into consideration that people have triggers and things like that. And of course we apologize. And like you said, we can usually break that stuff up really quickly. But one thing
Oh
I will
yeah.
not have on my podcast, like on my show or on my channel, shall I say, is anybody bullying anybody. I've never been a fan of bullies. I do
Mm-hmm.
not tolerate that at all. So I'm not a fan of that. And I'm not a fan of, saying harsh things to people.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just
Exactly.
never
It's all
okay on
about
my
what
show.
you create in your atmosphere. I too
Right.
have not had any issues on my page. I do see it in our community, but I
Yeah,
think
a
it
little
also
bit.
just depends on who you are as an individual. What
Mhm.
energy do you bring? Do you bring a positive
Right.
energy? Do you bring a chaotic energy? And sometimes we just have to
Mhm.
let things, just be like, what is it? Oil on a duck's back or water on a duck's back. I think it's water on a duck's
Right.
back. Just let it roll off.
Let it
If
roll
someone
off.
says, oh, you know what, you're a little too old for toys, why are you playing? If they make a comment, do you have to comment back? No.
Leave
Just
the
let it
rock to you.
roll off.
Yeah.
And maybe that person needs to know that it's okay to play. Maybe you just text them or, you write back in your comments like it's okay to play as an adult.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
they just need to
okay.
know that. Maybe they haven't given themselves permission to do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's all about the energy that you display and that you put into your page. Like for myself, I pray every day. I pray before I post. I
Amen.
pray after I post. I pray, like that I don't have any chaos that gets picked up because we're texting. And that's
Yes.
what's so different in this new age is that
Yes.
everything is done through text. So you never do know when someone says something, if they're saying it with contention or if they're saying it with intention, like to be,
Right.
thoughtful. And so you have to be able to pray and hope that everything that you're saying is taken the right way and that it's
Yeah.
not being taken in a bad way. Because it's very easy to read something and think, oh, I'm insulted,
Right. Right.
versus reading it and going, oh, okay, they didn't mean it in a bad way. In fact, that's
Thank
a
God
good
for the
thing.
audio one now.
Oh,
That's for sure.
yes.
Because
Yes,
autocorrect,
right?
oh my God, autocorrect always messing up something. It just, so I'm thankful for the audio one where you can kind of, so that way you can kind of hear the
Yeah.
tone of the voice and things like that. But the community has been just so accepting.
So what made
Been
you
so,
so community focused because I do want to get to questions. Some people have comments and
yeah,
questions. It's
yeah.
beautiful. I love it. But I do want to ask you because you are very community focused. You have your hashtag, which I do want to talk about as well, that is about community hangouts. What makes you so community driven and focused?
I think because of the fact that everything is online. And yeah, I mean, I play with my dogs. I've been here by myself. And yeah, there's times where I want to decompress, but I also want like-minded people at times. So for me, I mean, if we have a community of people who already want to do this, this is what they're doing, trying to find those creative ways for us to work together from home where we don't
Yes.
have to do so much traveling. And that's kind of why, just to quickly and briefly touch back on the awards situation, we do plan to do that every year.
Okay.
And I plan for it to be more categories, more grown. My husband just actually went ahead and purchased me a 3D printer. So we hope
Okay.
to be able to mass a little bit more of this so we can have, because again, everybody is a winner here. You know what I
Yes.
mean? There's
Yes.
nobody above anybody. It doesn't matter what you're writing, what you're doing. We're all winners over here, you know, and that's what I do. I like to celebrate everyone, let them understand that they are just as important as the next
Exactly.
person. It doesn't matter. So,
Exactly.
and I think I've always been that way. I think my mom would like to probably say that I've always been like a community person. I mean, I do that stuff here at home. We're not on HOAs or anything like that, but we go, me and my family, we go and we help everybody right here in our area. We work together. We know everybody. We've been here for 9 years. So that's just always, I guess, just been my personality. I love to give. It makes me happy. And when I
Yes.
give, I don't expect anything in return. So with people doing shout outs and things like that, very, very appreciative, very humbly appreciative. But I don't expect anything in return. When I'm doing something for someone, my enjoyment is seeing you smile. That's more than enough for me. And I know sometimes people are like, really, that's it? No, if I can help someone and brighten their day, that brightens my day because it makes me feel like, okay, you are still loved. You are still important out here. You help
Yes.
somebody. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that's, and again, it goes back to just being at the fact that we're at home and we're playing and there is such a community, so many talented and wonderful people out here today. And together, if we work together, how can we bring that to life, you know? And I think that it really inspired a lot of people because now we have the karaoke night with Miss Nikki and them. So that's why I created the hashtag is for
And so what is your
everybody.
hashtag?
So it's hashtag Barbie, oh God, we'll have to tag it. I can't remember right off. I think it's hashtag Barbie Community Hangouts. That's what it is. Hashtag Barbie Community Hangouts because it's not me creating it. I didn't care who set it up, but I wanted it to be one place where whether you're having a wedding, a birthday party, you know, people always want somebody to attend and people to play with them. So if we have this hashtag that people, if you just are online one day, you're like, you know what, I want to post. I don't know what to post. And it's like, go on there and see
Yeah.
what you can participate in. You know what I mean? You can go in there and you can do birthday parties, you can do weddings, you can participate in that, you can participate in the karaoke, you can, and people are so creative, just things that you don't even think. Because me, I love lounges in real life, and Kamaya wants to go to a lounge, so who's creating a
Yeah.
lounge? You know, we like coffee
Exactly.
shops and workout spots, and you know, so then there's backgrounds and backdrops and things you can use, and we can collab together as a collective community. That's the whole point that I
I
created the
agree.
hashtag. So I'm hoping that everybody uses it. It's not necessary for me to get any credit of anything. I don't care about none of that. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that it's a community. That's why it's not Kamaya's community. It's not Sharon's community. It is the Barbie community hangouts.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
hope that
And I
everybody
think
posted it,
too,
especially.
this is
Go ahead.
so key, like the event that you had and your hashtag is so key because there hasn't been as much events. And that's because, you know, life has happened. People have had to go back to work instead of working from home. And then some people who are working from home, there's still a lot of demands. And I'm just talking about since the pandemic, because at the pandemic, we had so many different events to attend.
And I
So
wasn't here
people's
during the
real life has
pandemic.
stepped in. I'm sorry. It was glorious.
Oh, I would have
It was
loved it.
quite glorious. It was like
But you know,
you
God
literally
didn't
had to
work
have
so
your
much during
calendar
his
marked. It was like,
reign.
oh, there goes a wedding. Oh, there goes this event. There goes this event. So it
Yeah.
hasn't been as much going on. We still have things going on. But being able to have the honors award that you had and being able to have the hashtag does make a difference. I know there has been, I don't know if there's been a hashtag, but I know that there has been other people that have created like a calendar to keep people informed of what's going on. But we haven't had as many events. And like I said, it's just because real life takes over. But being
Right.
able to have a hashtag and being able to go to it, and you said being able to look up the different backdrops and have it all in one spot,
Yeah.
I imagine helps so much.
Yes, it does. Because even right now, Straight Talk Son and Bad Boy Gianni, they have the Hot Boy Summer situation going on, and he posted it over there. So I got my guys ready here because I want to go and participate. I want things to do. So, and the good thing
Yeah.
about it, having that hashtag is that even though the event may have already passed, you can always go back to there and you can still participate by pushing, no matter what month it is, what year it is. You can go back in there, you can look, and you can still participate just to do something. You know what I mean? You can still
Yes.
be a part of it collectively. So yeah, that means a lot to me
I love
that
that.
we can work together.
I love that. I love that. Now, with your event for the awards, will it still be during the same month or will you be
Yes,
changing that
yes.
time? Okay.
No. I
Okay, so
think that it's perfect timing because it's just before the actual big Barbie convention. And again, I just thought that, our dolls deserve an award show as well, for the talent that they're
Yes.
doing and things like that, because the big convention, it's amazing, but it's for us, and it's for us to spend more money. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. But
I
here,
agree.
we don't have to spend any money here. We can just show our creativity. And my goal for this upcoming year is to
Mm-hmm.
collaborate many more, creators in their niche, so that way we can have like maybe a fashion show. I only want to keep it to like a bare minimum, so that way it's not too long, but each year we can add a different thing, and we'll switch it up. So maybe one year we might have a fashion show, and then we'll have
Oh,
like how we
I
have the
love
community
fashion
this
shows. I had
one.
a fashion
Yeah.
show about a year and a half ago. My mother is a seamstress. Well, I still wouldn't say she's a seamstress. She's in the medical field right now. But I
Mhm.
grew up in fashion. She had fashion shows. She's a designer. It was just beautiful. So I'm always about a
Yeah.
fashion show. I,
Right.
I love
So
collecting
different
clothes
ones,
because
different
I'm always
things.
like, I'm going to have another fashion show. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, fashion shows are
Yeah.
beautiful. They're
And
busy.
Lady
They're busy, but yeah.
Magnuson, she just did one. She just did, that's where I was posting, where she did like a little fashion show thing afterwards. So that's what I do like, is that after the awards, it kind of sparked that into people to start being more creative. Because I have a couple more creative ideas that are coming up. I'm working out the kinks. Because
Oh, I
I
love the
learned to do
creativity
the
that you
quick
gave
one.
with the baby shower that you had. That was
Yes,
quite enjoyable. All the baby
yeah, I
shower
did that
games.
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that was
And we were able
great.
to do live, so we can
Yes,
participate.
yes,
So that's just
yes,
more or less what it is I like I said, I like giving and things like that. So when people are participating, and who doesn't like to win something? It may not be something
exactly.
really big, but especially for in our miniature world. I love winning little miniatures. Oh my God, they're just adorable. It didn't even matter what they are. I just love
Yeah,
something so little and dainty. It's just like
yeah,
so cute,
I
So,
know. I'm with you on
so
that. I'm so with you on that. One of the things that I really want to ask you, along with when we talk about miniatures and just being able to have our play the way that we do with fashion and dioramas, all these different things, I want to know, what is the reward that you get out of being able to play the way that you do, being able to post and make your dioramas? What is the reward, the self-reward that you get out of that?
I would probably have to say is some peace. Sorry, you guys are gonna hear them up there because they're changing out my books. So sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine.
Um, I would have to say that it's the peace that I get from it. By again, I get enjoyment by helping others, seeing others smile, things like that. So it's almost like a accomplishment. You know what I mean? Like you've achieved something.
Yes.
So when I post my dioramas, and sometimes I can be a little hard on myself, because then I'm like, well, how does this look? Like, does this look like something, or what? Whatever it is. And then so when I post these, like, whatever it is that I built or come up with, or even the stories, to get feedback definitely helps. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because then it sometimes, like, that's even the therapy part of it. Because
Yes.
you can hear other people's perspective, because sometimes I can be tunnel vision. It's just that. That's just what it is. And then to hear somebody else's perspective on something, it's like, oh, well, I didn't think about that.
Exactly.
Especially like when it came to, I just knew I wanted floating stairs in this tower. I knew I wanted.
Yes.
How I was going to achieve it, I had no idea. But I achieved it. And it was just like, so once posting it and stuff, I didn't specify anything out, but some people were like, oh God, those floating stairs are amazing, and this and that. So, and then just seeing other people's creativity, it kind of can spark, a thought. And that's why, to me, I don't mind if somebody sees what I've done and then want to do their way and then change it. Whatever. I don't mind that, because I think that that's what it's about, is inspiring somebody. You know what I mean? Because pretty
Exactly.
much everything we do, it's already existing. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just how you're putting your twist on something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in the
Doesn't bother
word.
me.
Nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah. So
So
that's
it's
my
already
enjoyment.
existed.
It's just fulfillment to me to see other people smile and engage and be
Yes,
happy. I love smiles and things like that. So it
I
just makes me
agree.
happy.
I agree.
And
So what do you
it's
do
like
in the
maybe like
case?
failing math or something when I was
Well,
younger. Who knows? I don't
well,
know.
what do you do in the case whenever you may not be able to see the person smile? Like you may have somebody who's a little bit shy. Like maybe they
I'm
won an award,
really
but
loud.
they're a little bit shy, so they may not post themselves saying thank you.
I am so sorry. That was really loud. That he's
Oh,
pulling
you're
that. So I
fine. You're
couldn't hear
fine.
you. What did you
No,
say?
no. I said, what do you do in the case whenever you have someone who may not be able to publicly smile? Like maybe they're a little bit shy, so they're not able to go on there and be like, thank you so much, or I enjoyed it, or they're using the miniatures that you sent to them, what do you do in that case?
So, like, are you saying, like, if I send somebody something and then they
Yeah.
don't reply or anything like that?
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean,
Okay.
if I will maybe reach out to them, ask them if everything's good, are they okay? But no, nobody has to call me or message me or anything like that. But I do like to make for sure that people are doing good, genuinely,
I
especially with,
agree. I
yeah,
agree
I have
fully.
another friend who just had a loss this morning. She lost her puppy.
Oh,
And although
oh
we had it
yes, I
show
saw
and
that
everything, are you
post
seeing that? Yeah, that
right
just
after
broke my heart. So I
convention.
reached out to her. I asked her if everything, well, I send my love first of all. And I told her if she needs anything, please let me know. And I mean that genuinely. I'm not going to bring up to her like, oh, come join the show today. That type of stuff. Like,
Exactly.
that's just not my character. That's just not me at all. So it was like, genuinely, if you need something, let me know. And I mean, I've
Exactly.
just always been that way. It's just who I am. So, I mean,
I agree. I agree. And I asked this because we have a lot of giving souls in our community. Just amazing. Like, I've been
right.
given dolls and stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah,
and when
me
I say like
too.
dolls, I don't
Yeah,
mean like
I
two dolls. I
do.
mean like a box of dolls. Just very, very beautiful giving people. And I imagine that there are times where someone may not say thank you, or they may not come forward with, like I did a post right after you guys gave me the trophy and I was saying thank you. Not everybody may do that. So how do you stay? This is the question. How do you stay fulfilled in your purpose of serving and giving if, in fact, you may not always get to see the smiles?
Okay, so what my response would be to that is you have to remember your why. Why did you
Mm-hmm.
do what you did? If you did what you did genuinely out of the kindness of your heart and and you're happy with the outcome of it, then you can
Yes,
just know that you have to just know inside that they're appreciative of it.
I
And
agree.
if they accepted it, whether they took it and threw it and stomped it in the trash or whatever, it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
you did it out of the kindness of your heart. You did it
That's it.
for you, and you just let it go. Once you've given it out, it's to the community. It's also to God. You
Mm-hmm.
don't. I don't worry about how other people, especially if it's. I don't really take a look at if they're happy about it or they're not happy about it. If I get to see
Mm-hmm.
the smile, that's even better. If I can help somebody, that's amazing. But you can't please everyone. And I'll just give you a quick example, not saying any names or anything, but there was one person that reached out to me during the award ceremony, and they said, and I tried everything I could. They reached out to me and was like, oh, I just feel like this is it's not necessary. I'm not going to vote because of this, that, and the third. And I respected it. I said, you don't have to. This is just for fun,
Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff. And I mean, this person felt like that they could make it or try to make it, I guess, to be honest, because I don't think like that. I don't know. I don't want to assume what they thought. But I didn't see a question. I even reiterated that. And they're like, somehow you're just not answering my question. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm so sorry about that, sweetie. Like, this is just created for fun. I don't think you should take it very personal, but if it's, I mean, you can't please everybody. You know what I mean? That's just how I look at it. You can't please everybody. And I spoke on it briefly, but I was like, I can't base how I'm doing what I'm doing off of how somebody else is feeling because we don't know what they're going through. So no, I don't want to be mean to them, that type of stuff. And sometimes they still take
Mm-hmm.
things mean. But you have to know that what your intention is because at the end of the day, I'm a very big firm believer of God. And
Yes.
God does not judge us the way the world does. The world judges us based off of what they can see in their appearance. God judges us based off of our hearts. And that's my
Mm-hmm.
heart. So if God knows and I know that my heart was pure when I gave to them, when I did what I did for them, all that kind of stuff, it's out of my hands from there. We can't
I
control
fully
anything else
agree.
from there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if as long as I'm doing and being the best person that I can be and having
Mm-hmm.
integrity,
Mm-hmm.
everything else that's their personal problem. That's just me.
Amen.
So I hope
Amen. I
that answered
fully
the
agree. Being
question.
it does. It does. Because so many people are giving. I have a giving heart as well. And I think that that's just honestly synonymous with our doll community. That we have people that are very empathetic to the needs and concerns of others. And I could have on my rose-colored glasses, but that's what I've experienced thus far with our doll community. And I've been involved since 2020. And so the thing is being able to reach within yourself, even if you don't get the response that you thought that you would, and still being able to know that you did what God called you to do.
That's it.
And then that's it. That's it. And so I wanted to just hear what your response was, so that our community can understand that if you don't get the answer you thought, or it doesn't, someone may go, oh, well, you gave me pink and I really wanted blue.
I'm so sorry.
That you still are able to continue to do what you do, because it's not about the applause. It's not about the applause. It's about being able to do what God has called you to do.
Right. I think what people have to really go back to is that little child. They got to remember where we are. Mm-hmm. When you're a child and you're given something, are you happy when you receive that? Or do you, because if we look at children right now today, I call these kids AI generated, my God, most of them. But I say that respectfully, but it just is what it is. But when you're a kid and you're handed something, we say to those that say thank you, or even if they don't say thank you, but they're happy, they go, they open it and they start playing with it. We know, and we smile and we say, that child's happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we know that child is happy, and we did a good thing, because now that kid gets to go and he's playing and he's doing all this thing. But then if we look at a child that we hand something to and they go, I didn't want this phone, and they throw it and they break it, what do we say? Oh, you spoiled little brat, that type of thing. So I think that what we have to do is think back to that childhood life, and that's whether you're the receiver or you're the giver. If a person does not respond in the way that you think that they should respond, again, keep your integrity and do the best that you can. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't receive exactly what you want, I think you're kind of looking at it wrong. I think that you need to look at it as the fact that you were thought of and you were gifted anything, because you don't have to give anybody anything. I didn't have to do this. We could have just played the game, and one sad face, she didn't have to create little miniature trophies, but she did, and she wanted everybody to have this little mini keepsake, So that's why it was important for me to let everybody know. And that's why I put sponsor. Because she could pay for that with her own money, her own phenomenon. She didn't charge me anything. I even asked her, did you want me to see this? She's like, absolutely not. So she gave to the community, and every person that was participating gave in their own way. And that was the beauty of it. That was the beauty. Is for everybody that participate. And not to forget, we cannot forget one big thing. All of you and everybody else who actually participated, because it would not have been possible if everybody didn't come together collectively and get the vision. Everybody that participated, to me, they got it. They were not worried about the fact that, oh, I'm not in the right category or this and that. Everybody came and they delivered and they had fun. And it was just amazing to watch. And that's, all glory to God, because that was not me. I'm just the vessel that God used. You know what I mean? Yes. And I'm honored that he used me. I really am. I'm honored that he used me, because I got to watch it in real time like you guys did. And it was like to see everybody come together in such a big event. Do you know how many people participated in that one day?
Oh my goodness, how many?
39,000 people.
Oh, wow.
We only had like, I think, a couple hundred likes or something like that. But in that one day, it was over 39,000.
Wow.
And I was like, good Lord. So that's the thing. Even though certain people weren't commenting or this and that, they were watching.
Yes.
What was going on in the community. And I think some more people probably wanted to participate who didn't, because they were afraid. Maybe they were like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know the people that's in this. But they got to remember, we're all just learning each other too.
Exactly.
We're coming from the people that we're following. So it's open to everyone. So
I have a question, because I'll tell you what. I love TLC. Like, I'm old school.
Yeah, me too.
I'm old school.
Right?
There we go. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. So there's this verse back in the day with the first album that TLC had. And Left Eye is like, she hears a verse and she liked it. And so she still ill it. Do you remember that one? And so she was like, I'm inspired. That's what artists do. So I say this because part of being artistic is that we get inspired. We see a Van Gogh or a Frida Kahlo and we go, oh my God, I can go home and do that too. Not
Yeah.
exactly, but in my own flavor.
In your own way. Yeah.
Exactly. So someone sees this event that you successfully did and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do this too. Number
Right.
one, how, and I guess this is my only question on this as we wrap up and we go to the comments. What would you say to someone who was inspired by what you did, but they have no clue how to get it started, but they just want to know, like, they want to do something that bridges the gap. They want to do something that, you know, it's like a
Right.
gala or an event. What would you say to them?
I would say go for it anyway. You know, when you're scared, you just pray if that's what you believe in. I think the less people you talk to, well, actually, you can end up moving forward. And this is just my opinion. I don't think you should always just go and talk to friends and this and that, because sometimes when you're telling people, and this is just the
Mm,
truth, sometimes when you're telling people things about what you got going on, you hear too many opinions. It can distract you or deter you
true.
from doing what you're supposed to do. I think that you should try it anyway. And if you're not sure what to do, then you sit alone with yourself
Mm,
and work out the kinks. Sit alone, say, okay, this is the main idea. Okay. Now I have the top idea. I have what I want. Now, how am I going to achieve that? Go backwards. The main thing is this. So now I have to go backwards. Okay. The first thing I want, and I'm just going to give somebody, okay, if I want to build this computer, I know that I want it to type. Okay. So
yes.
I need it to type. Okay. How can I get it to type? I need to be able to press the buttons. Okay, so how am I going to get it to press? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
go like a tower and go backwards till you achieve the main goal, which is to have that computer. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Or just
Yes.
like when you started posting your dolls, you know, if you waited around, you probably would have never done it. So
Mm,
it's like, just go for it. Just don't worry about who's going to like it, who's not going to like it, what criticism you're going to get, and all that kind of stuff. Most of the time, I just look at the criticism and go, oh, well, that wasn't very nice. No.
yeah, water
But
on a
guess
duck's
what?
back.
It's not going to
Water on a
stop
duck's
me.
back.
I'm still going to do what I
Mm-hmm.
do. So that's
Exactly.
what I would say is, if I say do it anyway,
I
post
love
anyway,
that.
and work out those kinks. If you're not, or go to a trusted friend. If you do have somebody that you know is not going to shoot down your dream, go to
Yes.
them and talk to them and work out those kinks. I only
I
tell
agree.
people things that I feel like they can possibly help. If I feel like they can't help, I'm not telling them nothing. Mm-mm.
I agree.
It's just what it is. People will shoot down your dreams, you know? And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so now can I ask you a question, Miss Co-host?
Yes.
When you
Yes.
started this podcast, I'm pretty sure you can share a little bit about, you know, what kind of things did you get back? Like, when you thought of this, what kind of things did you get? Like,
Oh
as
my
far as
gosh.
video goes.
I'm getting right now, even as we speak. You know? I'm getting right now, even as we speak. It started because of my interest and love in the just in the creatives, period. Being able
Right.
to see people take their ideas and manifest it in so many different ways. It could be like, I have my doll that I'm so in love with, my Reggie, and
Yes.
is he only my Reggie? No, like I mean, he's produced by Mattel, so I get a chance to see him in all different versions in other
Right.
people's stories, and so
Yeah.
being able to see this one single doll take on different personas and different
Right.
stories, I'm like, let me track that down. What made you do that? And it's just
Right.
honestly curiosity. I've always been a very curious child. I've always
Love
been. And
you.
I've been a curious adult. And I think that's what allows us to be connected to our inner child, is being able to still question and still ask. And still, as my husband he says to give people their flowers while they're still alive. And so my
Mm-hmm.
thing was that I didn't want to just admire someone's page and comment. I mean, that's great. But I wanted to know, what made you do that? What made you build that?
Right.
And then be able to celebrate that person. That if
Right.
they had a big account, great. If they had a small account, great. But
Right.
being able to celebrate who they are, because it's not about my upward mobility as much as it is me just being able to hear the fantastic stories that people share about what got them started into being a part of our doll community and just loving dolls, period. So that's really where it came from. It's just curiosity, wanting to celebrate each individual and using my platform to be able to do that. So, yeah.
And I love it. Did you
Yeah.
get any type of backlash though when you thought about doing this? Like, did anybody come to you and be like, "Oh, I don't think that's good. Do you think it's gonna take off, or what if this? What if that?" Did you get any of that in the beginning?
You know what? I am somebody, like I said, water on a duck's back. When this first got started, I just went with it. You know, faith is about being able to leap. And I have an extremely supportive husband. I've been very blessed with that, and
Amen.
supportive children as well. So pretty much any idea that comes to mind,
They support you.
they support it. They support
That's
it. So
what's
I've been
supposed to be.
very,
That's
very
it.
blessed in that. But yeah, and I imagine, you know, you've already said it, you know, with yourself as far as having a supportive mate. It makes so many different changes, and it allows you to be
We're
able to
going to the
fully
golf show
become
next
who
week.
you are. Yeah. It allows you to become who you are in the way that you need to. So
Yes,
yes, I've
I'm
been
looking
very
forward
blessed
to
in that. And for me, it wasn't, I honestly have not received any backlash, even prior to this, because
it.
I'm an indie author. So even prior to this, being able to write and do book signings, it was just a very natural thing. This was a natural transition to be able to
Amen.
see what made other people write the storylines that they did. You know, and then I love, because as a writer, I have to wait until I have a book signing to be able to hear people's comments. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
what they loved, what they didn't like. And I guess too, that also kind of prepped me to be able to be a part of our community, because if someone doesn't like one of my doll characters, then I have to be able to withstand that. For any of us that have our dolls and our characters that we just love so much, and sometimes they can do some things because they're all flawed, right? They should be. And whenever they're flawed and then people make a comment, you feel really injured, almost emotionally injured. Like, oh, why'd you say
Well,
that
that's
about my
kind of
favorite doll?
like
That
Honey.
hurt.
Have you seen how I had Honey? Like Honey,
It hurts. It hurts, but you got to be able to get through it. So when I was doing my book signings, and I would have people say, "Well, I didn't like that your character did this, and I didn't like this book, but I love this right here, and this reminded me of this and that." It really did prep me to be able to weather the storm in our
yes,
doll community.
you got to be able to take it in all
Oh,
forms. When
water off
any
a
type of
duck's back.
influencing that you're
Yeah,
doing, you know,
yeah.
that's why this is the one thing that helps me in that is
Mm-hmm.
that just keeping in mind that these are all people's opinions. That's
Oh,
it.
exactly.
They're just
Exactly.
opinions. So,
Exactly.
like Honey, I think she's a beautiful girl. I have her
Mhm.
playing the best friend of Jason's sister.
Mhm.
I have her that she grew up, and some people get it. They see it from both perspectives. She's been best friends with her since kindergarten, and she grew up seeing him. He looks at her like a little sister, but she's grown up liking him. So and so she'll make little comments and stuff. And to other people that have seen Jason and Jazz together,
Mhm.
like, wait a minute, Honey needs to back up. She's doing too much. But it's like you guys got to take into consideration her feelings too. You know what I mean? Like he's the one that you have to pay attention to is his perspective, like how Jazz is with him. So
Mhm.
it's all in how he responds. You know
I
what I
love the
mean? So,
comments, because, like I said, I wasn't able to get that as much whenever I do a book signing, because I have to wait until my scheduled book signing at a bookstore to be able to get those comments, or if I have a workshop. But on the other hand, we get instantaneous comments in our doll
right.
world, you know, and
Yes,
it's beautiful. I come
it's
to a
very
place
helpful.
where,
Yes.
because I have a book out there about
Yeah, you're gonna have to send
about
it to
the
me.
villain.
I heard you saying
Uh,
these books. I need them.
hmm
I need you to send
Oh,
them to
most
me.
definitely. They're all on Amazon. If you want it signed, then yeah, I can definitely be able to sign it
Yeah.
to you. But being able to create a likable villain, and I love
Right,
it, because most of the movies that we love, most of the books that we love, has a villain in it, and they become so
right,
likable. So if someone says, "I can't stand Reggie," although it may hurt, because I love my Reggie.
right,
And I understand him, because I understand his backstory. I understand, you know, who he is.
right,
He reminds me of somebody that's sentimental to me. But yet I
right.
love it, because that means, oh, I did
I was
something
just gonna mention
successful.
you.
Like, you don't like him? That's good. So
Right,
then later on, like with his last post, people are like, he's pretty stand up. I like him. Like, I love being able to see that transition.
right.
Because don't we all do that? We're all flawed
Yes,
characters, you know. We all
absolutely.
there's I just told my children not too long ago, you know, you can't control if someone sees you as a villain or if someone sees you as a
You can't
protagonist. You can't control that. All you can do is just be you. And that's what I think makes the best characters, is when you have characters that are
yeah.
just them, you
Just
know?
them. And that's the thing,
Just
like
them.
you said it perfect, where you said, in some people's story, you're the villain, and they're the clown in some others. So
Yeah.
at the end of
Yeah.
the day, and a wise woman said that. So at the end
Yeah.
of the day, and I was gonna mention, and she's here, Sade One Sad Face. She said she was the one that mentioned. She was like, we should do like a category for best villain, and I want to do that for the next time, but I just
Hmm.
couldn't understand yet because this was the first time doing it in the awards category.
Hmm.
I want to have it. So that's good that we have all these different characters out because people are going to be, nominating. We know how the
Hmm.
nominations go.
Hmm.
So I know it probably hurts you to see him, but he's probably going to win an award
Oh
because
no,
some people
I
are
told you it's
loving
water
him.
on a duck's back that if someone sees, especially if my intent
He
is
might
to
be
have
the
a
best
character be villainous,
villain.
then that means I fulfilled it. I
Amen,
fulfilled
right?
it. I fulfilled it. But I do want to get to our comments. And let's see here. So
Yes,
awesome. All right, let's see here. Do we have any comments? Do you have any questions, anything like that? You're more than
yes.
welcome to go ahead and log
And I want
that
to
in
just do a
right
shout
now.
out to the community while you're doing that, while you're looking to see if there's any comments we need. I
Okay,
just want to
friends,
give a shout out
everybody's
to
got her party. I see y'all.
the, the entire
And
community
sup. All right, I'm listening. Uh-huh.
for no, I was
I
just saying
bless
I
your
wanted to give
Michael.
a full shout out to the entire community because again, the awards would not have been possible without
Mm-hmm.
everybody's participation.
Mm-hmm.
So on behalf of me and the community, not just the awards team, but the
Mm-hmm.
community, thank you guys, every last one of you, for participating because it would not have been what it was without everybody's participation. And I
That's it.
appreciate
Mm-hmm.
each and every shout out that has come out to the awards. Me and my team is very, very thankful. Now they are a part of the team. We all
Mm-hmm.
going to be working hard back here. And anybody
Okay.
who is interested in being a part of the team and being part of the cast for next year, because guess what? I'm hosting it next year, but I am not going to be the talk. Kamaya is not going to be the talk this year. So we are looking for a co-host, like one that's
Mm-hmm.
actually but it's a lot of work, guys. It is a lot of work. So if
Mm-hmm.
somebody's interested, we'll probably do like some polls or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I
So
am going to be
I
starting a separate
will
page for that.
definitely direct people to go to your page so that
Yes.
they can
Well,
be
it'll be a
able
different
to
page in the community.
do you want them to DM you in case they are interested in being able to
Well,
join your
it'll be
team?
announced in the community. They'll know. God will send it to who
Hmm.
needs it at the time.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. All right. So going to the questions and comments, someone said, yes,
Yes.
there's no qualifications when it comes to doll collecting because someone else said earlier, yo, if you got more than 10, you a doll collector. And I agree. I do
Thank
agree.
you.
Straight Talks On had said that, everybody got their story. I like hearing. See, she a doll collector. Ha ha. And this is still Straight Talks On. Now I wash my pocket because a plastic doll that costs rent can stay on the shelf. I understand that. I understand.
Right. Because it
I
can't get
understand that,
expensive.
but some of
They
these
can
dolls
get
that cost
expensive.
$450, you're like, man, but it's nice.
Right.
This is all new to me because I dragged into this doll art. And I was kind of dragged into it. My girls got me into this. Some trauma can make us lose our innocence. And this is a great
Yeah.
way to keep our hearts pure away from trauma. Kudos to you both. And that was It's Me, Tiffany Official. Yes, I so agree. There is some
Mm.
trauma that can cause us to lose our innocence. And so being able to stay connected to our dolls or whatever you enjoy, Polly Pocket, Legos, action figures, list goes on, can help you maintain that innocence that you need. Is there any
Yeah.
comments that you want to make on that?
That's actually my sister. So shout out to you, my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Agreed, So I think that we pretty much talked about it earlier. I think that the best thing for us to do is just keep pushing forward,
I
even with
agree. I agree.
what's going on. Yeah.
As we wrap up, since that comment was said, I think it's like a great place for us to wrap up. In what ways have you seen yourself be healed through play therapy?
As I stated before, I'm still on this journey. Very, very much. I'm in personal therapy as well. Some things that I thought that I completely healed from, I'm finding out now was probably more of hidden, unconscious mind, letting alone or not touched, shall I say. So I would probably say that it's this adult play has opened up. It's actually opened up the shadow work that needed to be done for me. And I'm very appreciative of it because sometimes we don't know we need shadow work.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think that a snapping and things like that is just normal, or especially if we've received that growing up. I didn't, but I'm just saying, you can think that that's what it is, that these things are normal, but they're not. And so I think that coming into my room and playing and sitting down and building my dioramas helped, because I've been praying for the work to be done. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And when we ask God to do things for us, we don't get to determine how he does it.
That's true.
So, but I want to fully be healed. I want to break cycles and chains that have happened in childhood and all this kind of stuff. And the goal is to just keep doing that work, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe in the future we can do another meeting, maybe in some years from now, whenever, and we get to talk about this moment and the growth that has happened. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to it. I'm still on that journey. So just to answer the question, I'm still on that journey. And sometimes, and people need to understand that too. Sometimes you don't have all the answers right then. And it's okay to just take a second and be like, you know what? Still working on that. And I hope to find it, I think that a lot of us, we always want to have the answers to everything. And sometimes we don't have them. And that's okay to know too, that you don't have the answer just yet. So.
Have you noticed a change within yourself from when you weren't playing to where you are now?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm at more peace, very much, because when I didn't have an outlet, I noticed that I was a lot more aggressive. I know I probably don't seem like I'm aggressive at all, and which for the most part, this is how I am. But when I get upset or I get triggered, I can be very aggressive. I'm a fire sign. I'm a Sagittarius. So we could kind of take a fire and blow it up, and but I don't like that space. I do not like that space. I'm a very transparent person. I don't hide anything. I'm not claiming to be perfect, any of that type of stuff. Absolutely not, because none of us are. I desire to be this certain person. And in all honesty, it's her. She is me, if that makes sense, but she is me as well as all of these others that are behind me, and I feel like her responses are who I'd always like to be. You know what I mean? So that's why she's so special to me, because her responses are the responses that I'd like to have at all times, because with me playwriting, I have time to respond, think and respond. But sometimes things happen in life that you just respond and you just react right away. And it's like, dang it, I could have did that better.
Yeah. I understand that.
So it's like, I can't wait to be the grown woman here that I want to be. Not that I'm not a grown woman, but I'm very understanding that there's still a lot to work on. And just so anybody that doesn't know, I know I probably look very young, but I'm actually going to be 44 this year. And I'm very proud to be 44. I hope to make it to 70 and 80. I want to get so old that I'd be like, did God forget about me? That's how old I want to get. So,
I get it. Well, I got you. I got you by a few months. I'm 44 already.
Okay, good. In December.
I got you by a little bit.
So we here. We feel each other. Yes, this hot.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Was there any other questions?
There's one more comment. Now, I guess this is your sister again. So proud of you, with the exclamation mark. You are now a survivor queen. So I do want to end on that note. I want to thank everybody for all the beautiful comments and questions. I apologize we weren't able to get to everything. This has been quite enjoyable. And I thank you so much for allowing me to take up space and time with you. I thank you for sharing how play is therapeutic in your life, and as well as encouraging other people and talking to us about your event and inspiring the hearts in our community. And I just request that you continue to be a shining light and continue to make sure that you are enjoying your time in play. Because anyone can play right.
Yeah.
All right, sis. I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you again. I appreciate you.
You too. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. Bye. All right. Bye-bye. Everyone, thank you again so much for participating in our live. I really did enjoy you being part of our podcast, and look forward to being able to have the next podcast with you. Thank you so much. You guys have an awesome, beautiful day. And remember, anyone can play right on the Adult Play Therapy Podcast Show. All right. Bye-bye.